Hello, I'm back. This is part 3 of this Divine Masculine read that I am working on. Got a little busy yesterday, and so I was unable to continue with it. Working on getting a plan to free myself and get unstuck, and what do you know? Car troubles. So, is it like sabotage, or is it the universe? I don't know. As a divine feminine, I'm sure some of the others can relate, but knowing that we're meant for a whole lot more, wanting to spread our wings and fly, feeling like we have waited far too long, and just waiting isn't really bringing in what's supposed to be brought in. I feel like something's happening, but at the same time, something going on, but what's going on? Is anything going on? We've been promised offers and opportunities, but where are they? So anyways, I'm continuing on with this read. The grandson's back, and so I got to get this done and out of the way. Otherwise, the cards just get all messed up anyways. In the first read, I kind of went over the whole overlay of this whole spread and how I did it, and what the true internal intentions of the divine masculine is, operating in his authentic self with his true intentions, like I said, operating out of authenticity and kind of what his true inner child really wants, and how others kind of got in the way and influenced some of that, and the karmic Jezebel connection sort of got in the way. That was like mostly like my last read on this. It was just basically the whole like middle row of these cards, and it was all about the karmic connection and the community and family and stuff that sort of influenced that, and what it ended up bringing about. And so I ended with these 3 cards. So I'm going to continue with them again just to sort of, I don't know, kind of recap. But so I have the Hermit in the reverse, meaning, and then the King of Pentacles, meant to read this sideways, both ways, with the first part of it being the Hermit in the reverse with the divine masculine, being too busy, being too distracted, possibly being under some manipulations, illusions, spell work, basically causing the King of Pentacles to be in the reverse, to not go within, to kind of avoid seeing the truth of things that had come out of the connection that ended up manifesting, or the wrong choice. And then basically having gone within, being forced to go within as some realities came out and surfaced, and humbling type realities and experiences. And then now again with the Hermit being in the reverse, basically having gone through that self-reflection and getting away from the situations and connections to basically try to see the truth of things and really connect with himself, connect with nature, connect with spirit, connect with the ancestors, seeing the reality of things, seeing that things need to make a change, and coming out of the Hermit in a place of being ready to move forward, ready to go towards the divine feminine. His counterpart, his twin flame. This definitely has to do with twin flames, and you really only can have one, a twin flame. You may think somebody else is your twin flame, or somebody else might try to, take on your energy, or take on the energy of your divine feminines to put themselves in that role with other motivations, such as money, clout, status, stability, pleasing families, on and on. But really, there really truly is only one twin flame, and there's certain things that will only happen when you do see your twin flame. Your twin flame is somebody, I believe, that you have had past life connections with, one and possibly multiple, and so many lifetimes later, the universe trying to join you together to repair some things that went wrong in past lives, repair some things that went wrong in the family lines and the DNA, and you know, come back with all that behind you in a place of divine mission for the benefit of the future. And so also we have the Klimt Queen of, I believe she's a Queen of Cups. Yes, a Queen of Cups in the upright. So first I'm just going to go ahead and read the King of Pentacles like in the reverse in the Surrealist, and then I'm going to place that King of Pentacles in the upright in the position of being the Emperor and acting in his power, thereby turning him into the Emperor and uniting him with true love, with love that benefits him, with an equal give and take love, with a love that is pure and sincere, lacking in ulterior motives and lacking in other influences, and basically a divine connection that was put in place divinely by divine sources, and many hurdles put in the way to thwart that and get in the way, all learning lessons if they are so to be taken that way. And the Emperor does step into what he knows deep down inside is true and pure, and will benefit him, his divine feminine, and the future, and supports his mission. So the King of Pentacles so it means in the Surrealist deck, self-love, creativity, likable, boastfulness. By dint of believing yourself a genius, you actually become one. So with that being in the reverse, I feel like with things that went wrong, expectations that were failed, shortcomings, possibly, you know, he knows that he's a genius, but was acting in more of like an ego place, kind of overcompensating through actions and communications, basically kind of causing him to appear insecure by overcompensating. And you know what, I need to light my sage too, because I can already feel this sort of opposition of things concerning trying to bring out the truth. So it basically got in the way of self-love and him loving himself, as he was trying to please a lot of other parties in a connection and in a situation, and carried out into multiple areas of his life where he feels like he really like lost himself, lost his inner child, his true authenticity, his true desires. And although trying to like stand up for himself through the whole thing, unfortunately, a lot of binds and ties and connections put into place that he didn't necessarily put there, but upon choosing, you know, certain connections and certain paths, trying to please others, or maybe thinking he was doing the right thing, or trying to do what possibly is easier. Sorry, I just totally interrupted my brain flow there, that dog barking. Although he's very creative, although he is genuinely very likable, I feel like with being betrayed by others, possibly got in sort of a defensive mode and became sort of boastful and like appearing to be ego driven. A lot of times we can like actually look like we're, you know, being very like ego driven when we're really just in defense mode and just trying to stand up for ourselves and be seen and, you know, be master of our own destiny and stuff. So I am going to go ahead and put him in the upright though now, thinking of, you know, the going in and doing the inner work And then again, reversing that into a place where he's ready to come out of that and act in his authenticity. And so basically once he does, and once he is recognized, and once some of those connections and relationships that didn't serve him are brought out of the way, then he does actually find himself in a place of self-love, creativity, likable, boastfulness, confidence. Basically, I feel like that is that what that means, and actually becoming a genius, as he's not being held back by other people's intentions. I'm just trying to look at the imagery of this now to see if I can get anything out of this. It's like a house burning, sort of. Maybe that's burning in the background. And there's actually like a gun pointing towards this house. Oh yeah, it's like this sort of cowboy statue, guys. So possibly the home, life and what was founded actually went up in flames, and there is the King of Pentacles, just watching his investments burn before his eyes. Is that a buffalo? It's a yak, a buffalo, something, I don't know. It's almost like stepping on the cord of this phone. So I don't know, maybe like forces of nature and the inner animal. It's the animal spirit guide or whatever, trying to like bust the cord, break the cord of him always being on the line, always having to be available to answer his phone calls. And if he doesn't, then, there's hell to pay. And so there's just a ton of imagery in this. A lot of it's like typical surrealist, with the time warp, losing time, feeling like he's in the wrong dimension of time. There's a chessboard, as always, to indicate the kind of the game of the whole thing. And Salvador Dali here looks a little like stressed out, and it's almost like he's disappearing into his environment, sort of a thing. And I feel like that's kind of like somewhat what's happened, to a point to where King of Pentacles just had to flee. But then with the Hermit being the reverse and him moving forward, we come into his connection with his true counterpart, with his twin flame, with the one that he truly wants and desires inside, and with the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups in the Klimt. Let me find it here. And I'm reading this, if you didn't watch any of the other readings, I'm reading these out of the books from each particular author's point of view, the creators of the decks, because I feel like there's been certain like keywords that have brought enlightenment, like beyond just kind of knowing the basic meaning of a card. Certain words that have been put in these books really like having a lot of meaning, I'm finding, and messages within themselves. So this Queen of Cups is generosity. And actually, like in the rest of the spread, and you can go back and watch the first one if you're just seeing this one, it does kind of point to, there's a whole lot of charity within the Divine Feminine, and then with the Empress in the reverse, with the false flame, with the karmic, a severe lack of charity. So that kind of differentiates each one. But the comfort of a woman, I think, is really important here. Comfort of a woman. I read it 2 or 3 times when I feel like wording actually is very relevant. Comfort of a woman. So the comfort of a woman is actually what causes this King of Pentacles to be in the upright rather than the opposite. New offspring. And so I feel like some of the hurdles were pregnancies and false pregnancies, and using those as a way to try to trap the King of Pentacles. However, I feel like if a child is born, that child is meant to be, no matter what kind of happens or manifests out of that. And unfortunately, if a karmic energy and a false twin and a female is not caring for the child, then I feel like a true divine feminine would step in and fill in that role, especially in the cases where possibly the karmic has broken a lot of laws and has to be incarcerated. But she is somebody of complete compassion and generosity. And with her support of the King of Pentacles, she is somebody that would fill that role and do that in balance, like not trying to like take over as the part of the mother, but actually like supplement that energy and do that for the King of Pentacles. So charm and ability to listen. She's also somebody that's going to listen to the divine masculine, and what is important to him will also become important to her, but she's not going to lose herself in it, because if they are actual true twin flames, then they carry the same desire for the same mission, and they complement one another. And so if the Queen of Cups or the counterpart or the spouse is, if there's a resistance there and they feel like that they're having different desires and going in different ways, I feel like that is like a manifestation of it not being an ideal connection or relationship, because I feel like if it is truly the true flames, they are going to like work hand in hand, and they're going to have a lot of the same goals and desires. And I feel like it's been sort of falsified as like, I feel like some of the false flames and the hurdles and the ones that got in the way actually did take on the energy of the proper divine counterpart, the true divine feminine, the true flame. And so thereby, like for a while, was able to act in that way, like, hey, yeah, I got your back. Hey, yeah, we're doing this together. But really, through certain events and experiences, it actually is proven whether that is truly the case and whether those are true intentions or not. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next cards. And they are the Three of Tides, the Three of Cups, with the Two of Swords in reverse, and the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. So what do these mean together, and what do they mean in these decks? From the Jeopardized Tarot, which is the Three of Tides here and the Three of Cups, we know that that can mean celebration. And in the first scenario of this story, there was a quick celebration, there was a quick decision to make a connection and to make a contract with somebody. I feel like that had to be done that way because those involved, even like parent figures that really wanted this connection for their own benefits, and most of the motivation always is money. It was like, let's do this and let's do this quickly, so you know, so that he doesn't really kind of see the truth or any of the secrets or any of the schemes. You know, you got to make him sweep you off your feet right away, sort of a thing. And so I'm going to read the whole thing on this. A herd of horses gather together by the ocean shore. They gambol comfortably and appear interested in both their surroundings and each other. Here we have the card of the deep bonds that are present within family, community, or friendships. This card also suggests common goals shared by a group. And so is in the upright, even though the Ace of Pentacles is in the reverse. I feel like that can mean a couple of things. I feel like maybe possibly to make the right connection, it is involving a little bit of a loss. It is involving passing up and moving past an offer that is there. It could mean like a sacrifice that needs to be made for the authentic celebration. If the three of Tides shows up in this story often in the reverse, meaning that some people thought that they knocked out the divine feminine, got her out of the way, and they celebrate a little too early, thinking that they were able to enter, and she wasn't going to be able to see things for what they are, and that their trickery was going to work. And and it could also mean, like, you know, some partying. But I feel like we're in the second part of this story, where this is actually an authentic celebration, and where it is like the marriage of the land. And marriage of the lamb, the marriage feast. I've got 3 of cups that also shows up from the Surrealist deck over the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Swords, who is the Jester of Gardens, or the Page of Pentacles, before she actually, like, evolves into herself, is unrestrained, and actually manifests and start to manifest as her true potential, and where she should be and will be, without some of the sabotage in the way. So we do have 3 of cups come up again on top of the actual Empress, the actual true divine feminine, the actual true flame. So I feel like that also is confirmation of this being in the upright now. But with the 2 of Swords in the reverse and the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse, maybe possibly that happens after some things that were put in the way and put up as blocks and deterrents are actually removed. So with the Surrealist deck and the 2 of Swords in the reverse, it means the 2 mysteries. The morphological echo of obsessive thoughts, rejection of making choices due to inability or fear. I feel like this rings super true in this story, so I'm going to read it again. The morphological echo of obsessive thoughts, rejection of making choices due to inability or fear. So possibly, like with twin flames, it's like nobody else really is going to fit or fulfill that place as much as the true divine counterpart would. And that's for a reason, because it's for the highest good of the both of them. And so even though this, you know, divine masculine found himself in a relationship with somebody else, there was still that divine feminine that he has been unable to let go of, that he has been unable to forget about. And especially even as things kind of have fallen apart and crumbled more, he's left wondering, you know, how would things have been different if I had made the right choice initially? I wish I would have made the right choice initially. And so if that's your story and that's what's happening, you know, it really could be possible confirmation that, you know, the wrong choice was made, and it's okay, not all is lost. Very last card, if he does decide to make the move, is the 5 of Cups in the reverse. So, you know, that, like, it's not too late. You may feel trapped, you may feel stuck, but I feel like some things are happening where the ones that tried to get in the way are being found to break certain contracts, and it's going to free up the divine masculine to go towards his true counterpart. So with it being in the reverse, though, because this is saying obsessive thoughts. So maybe perhaps those thoughts aren't so obsessive, but it's just a connection with the divine feminine that can't be broken. And so there's a reason why you can't stop thinking about this other person. Sorry, girl. I just squished her foot. Get out the way. We've got the, like, I don't know what that's called. That little thing that it's in physics, the pendulum sort of thing with the all-seeing eye kind of going back and forth. It's weird. It's got like a bullet hole in it. So maybe possibly somebody tried to cover the eyes and cast illusions. She's got a violin back, but she's upside down. So I don't know if there is a musician. Sorry, I know I'm not in the right place. I don't know if that means a musician that possibly isn't so upright. And then out of the Nautilus, we have a hand coming out and reaching for the clouds. And these clouds look dirty. They kind of look a little bit like some of the clouds in the skies these days. But it's almost like this hand is like reaching to remove some of the clouds and remove some of the illusions. It's weird because her ponytail is being held up by a nail that is connected to this sky Nautilus, which I feel like would be kind of like the hand of God. So, it's so weird. I have to wear a high pony myself because of my leaky cone head. And if you haven't seen any of my other videos, I was actually born at Area 52 and have had this very odd bump on my head that got bigger and smaller, as does my daughter. And I don't know if it just has to do with the fact that we're aliens in human form or whatnot. But this rope, it's a safety pin. Safety pin holding up this ponytail hair, but it is on the musician in the reverse. So it could have to do with the divine feminine being a singer, being a musician, but having lost some of her opportunities. I feel like having had some a false karmic get in the way and actually try to step into her destiny, attempt to do the destiny swap thing, almost get away with it. And yeah, so I don't know, it could be divine feminine not getting the chance to be the songbird and sing the way she should. But the safety pin holding up the head. Hang on. The safety pin holding somebody's head up. Maybe like causing them to appear up and not with their, how when you have your head down and you're walking, you're kind of like sulking. You're not seeing what's forward. You're seeing the ground. So it's almost like divinity pulling up her hair and causing her to see the ocean in front of her, see the opportunities. And this even could be for the masculine actually acting in his feminine side, and lift up your head and actually see what's in front of you and see that the divine have been carrying you and holding you up, and I want to direct your eyes to past the ocean to another place in the world, possibly cross-continental, to actually see what this shot at sort of illusion of time has caused you to not see, within your busyness and your work endeavors, and, just like trying to do what's easiest and the most time efficient didn't really pan out. It didn't really work that way. You lost yourself in that. So do you need to look farther beyond to see what your answer is? The divine removing the clouds and lifting up that. So definitely, like, there's definitely music and the music industry involved in this, no doubt about it. And now let's go to this Ace of Pentacles in the reverse, because I know that the Ace of Pentacles in the upright and a new beginning in finances is what actually, causes the right divine connection to come into place. But in this instance, it ended up in the reverse, with this Two of Swords being in the reverse, possibly being with somebody that was a musician and somebody that was trying to act in somebody else's energy, causing a loss of money. Somebody that, they invested into like business and endeavors, but things didn't actually pan out the way that they should have, or the way the divine masculine had expected. Maybe possibly the illusions of the one that he chose, being a musician, being involved in the music industry, but it being a loss actually. So let me look it up in this booklet. Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles. So it normally means new wealth, money, material control, and opportunities for gain. And I feel like that is how the story started out. But in the reverse, it means bad relationship with money, poorly used riches, squandering, miserliness, associated with loss of money, with money being misdirected. Maybe there is a little bit of embezzlement involved here. You know, dipping into the petty cash, wasting money, somebody that is not wise or not frugal with money. So maybe in scenario number one, you know, like as soon as that marriage and that connection was secured and put into place, then what happened and what manifested is power and control over finances, power and control causing money loss, giving a female basically access to the bank account, causing loss, causing, you know, misdirected funds, flaunting, showing off money, possibly. And I feel like that happened fast and it happened right away. But with this actually being seen for what it is, with the eyes being open for it being seen for what it is, this horse here is also an ocean here. He's ready to dive in, go to where he needs to go, and to fix this situation here. To make it right, to recover some of what's been lost. And he's basically seen that from what happened, from the loss of money, it really kind of put things in perspective. So now we have him actually taking a journey, and we've got the Six of Wands with the Eight of Swords. Very fast, very directed energy, and going towards a Queen of Pentacles. And I feel like he's just seeing actually the truth about who the Queen of Pentacles really is, in that she actually is, you know, like seeing the sabotage and seeing the thwarting and seeing the interference and the even like the thieving of some of her ideas, of some of her efforts, basically going, you know, in other places. But no matter how much money she has in her bank, she's still the Queen of Pentacles. She still has the actual ability to not misuse the funds. And he's seeing that things aren't as what they seem. See, things weren't as what they seemed. This one here, this Eight of Swords, the eyes were blinded, and that is what the Eight of Swords means, basically, is like not being able to see things for what they are. And so possibly with the Six of Wands and with the Queen of Pentacles, he wasn't able to actually see that by making this journey and by finding his divine feminine, his twin flame, and the Queen of Pentacles, that it actually was going to, you know, like with this just following that last set of cards, seeing where he went wrong, basically. Seeing who the true Queen of Pentacles is and feeling the need to actually go towards her now. Six of Wands. Six of Wands, I'm sorry. That would be Six of Swords, which we know is fast forward directed movements. Themes of solution through escape and moving on after difficulties are addressed in this card. A figure equipped with artificial bat-like wings soars high above the earth. Below him are two distinct sections of landscape, separated by a body of water. One side appeared depleted and barren, the other lush and verdant. Though our flying figure may appear to be looking toward the flourishing vista, it's by no means certain from which direction he has come or towards which direction he will proceed. One thing is assured, however, changes in the air. So this might have to do with an actual like plan that has to be kept hidden to get out and to go away. Actually getting a bird's eye view. It could involve like drone satellites, government birds, who knows, like somehow having the eyesight and the bird's eye view to see things for what they really are. And the divinatory meaning is a change of scene or voyage, perhaps over water, escape from conflict or danger, travel involved in the resolution of a problem, and a sense of hope. And a sense of hope, and the change concerning what? The change concerning the Eight of Swords, The dark gods, the mind lost in the maze created by itself and restlessness. So basically, like feeling like in a labyrinth and trapped and trying to figure a way out. I feel like being able and being forced to, or like not getting away from taking on the energy of the twin, of my twin, it's feeling very lost, feeling like there's no escape, feeling like you can't see the way out. And so I feel like I've been picking up on just that sense of that. And like I said, like, you know, I started working on something that would get me out and get me freed. And all of a sudden having difficulties with my car all of a sudden as that gets put into place. And you're like, is it the universe trying to keep me here for a little bit longer, or is it sabotage and others, the other parties, trying to keep me stuck, you know? But Queen of Pentacles in the Klimt is, the way it reads in this booklet is, inheritance and well-pondered judgments and safety. I just feel like that reconfirms that the Divine Masculine has information that needs to be brought in and has sees the whole situation from where it is, like both sides of the coin, both sides of the feminine, what happened. Lush, fertile ground having been actually dumped on and turned into like a garbage dump. Has to do with cleanup of the earth, reforesting, and I feel like that's very significant concerning the health picture we have going on, you know. But he's basically able to see what happened. He's basically able to see where the destruction came from. And maybe he's basically able to see and prove the funds that were lost, the inheritance that the Queen of Pentacles didn't get, which has kind of held her back, you know. She's got a morel mushroom arm. So there's definitely something to do with mushrooms, mushroom growing, health aspects, region, such as nature and the outdoors. The alien masculine and feminine, they have a hard time with the toxicity, with the garbage, with the garbage dump, and with all the toxins. And I feel like they, of course, do a whole lot better out in nature because they are King, Queen of Pentacles, and they are of the earth, and they have a lot of earth energy. I feel like they fit into some of those signs, and those signs are definitely prominent in their chart. Earth signs are Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn. Dang it. It's really interesting for some of us that have had these, you know, like we were born in very specific places, and our birth certificates were messed with, and we don't even know, we're unsure of actually what our actual birth date is. We're like, is that my real birth date? Is this my real birth chart? You know what I mean? So that's a question that I've had to ask, you know, having had the like sort of like kidnapping in the 42nd degree sort of thing confirmed a little bit, you know, where do I really come from? Are these actually my real true family? Are these actually my parents? It doesn't seem like that sort of a thing, you know. And so I feel like that's very significant, and that's some information that the Divine Masculine may have obtained through research of things, through actually like hiring somebody to investigate things for himself. But also interesting, it says well-pondered judgment. So I feel like he seeks out the Divine Feminine and the Queen of Pentacles because of her wisdom, because she thinks differently, because she makes judgments out of intuition. And both of them together is going to create a very safe environment. But yeah, so what he's fleeing from is a Queen of Pentacles in the reverse, which subjection of power and encounter with a greedy woman. That's what he's fleeing from, but he's fleeing towards the Queen of Pentacles in the upright. And I feel like what's in their accounts doesn't necessarily show the whole picture, because you can have a lot of money and you can acquire a lot of debts, and then when you lose that, you're far more in debt than somebody that didn't start out with much, and so they don't have a ton of debts, you know. So it's like things aren't always what they appear to be. Things aren't always what they seem. And so actually, like, the divine masculine is starting to see, look at, it's so interesting because there's a paintbrush with a sword behind it. So I feel like an artist or a painter, actually, like, the shadow it's casting is a sword, is, you know, disruptive. Same thing with the sewing. The sewing's in there. And I feel like the divine feminine, like, you know, she has beauty. She has artistic ability. She's a perfumist. She is a seamstress. I don't, perfumist, whatever. She's got a nose. She's a gardener. And then it's interesting how you're seeing like the back of her head. So I feel like that's significant concerning certain parts of the brain and thinking and knowledge being blocked out. I think that's super significant there, like with that being in the mirror, you know, that pineal and that type of elevated thinking actually also being blocked. But indeed, is there somebody that has false beauty that's casting the sword? Somebody that, you know, is a painter, is a seamstress, but, you know, it's like that designer, that seamstress is like that shadow of that knife is pointed right at this figure. So, yeah. I feel like they're very similar. The karmic feminines and the false flames actually have a lot of these gifts and traits, that same ones that the divine feminine, the true twin, and the Queen of Pentacles has and possesses also. It's just that, unfortunately, when it came to the false flame and people's well thought out and planned plots and plans to actually destroy her so that her male counterpart doesn't find her, you know, she was unable to develop a lot of these skills and talents and businesses, because when she did and she started to and she tried, she was met with sabotage from basically the shadow part of these, you know, the shine suckers, the destiny thievers, the sabotagers. All right, and then this is where I had two come out at the same time, and I feel like it is concerning the true twin, the divine feminine, the Empress. And so I had Jester of Gardens come up, which I believe is Page of Pentacles, I'm pretty certain, and Judgment in the reverse, and the Hierophant. And then this actually turns into, because they came out together, this is the Ace up her sleeve, the true reality of her once her Emperor does go towards her with the Six of Wands, make that journey, makes that connection, they find each other, they take some rest together to become re-inspired and develop trust and, you know, see and feel just the potential of everything. That's what manifests out of this same person, this same character. So to start out is the Jester of Gardens. And this might be where she is just basically materially now. It also could have a contrast between a young person and a mature person. But I do feel like it is like the manifestation of what the same person is and will be and will reclaim. Jester of Gardens. So yeah, Jester of Gardens is first, so that would be Page of Pentacles basically. The colorfully attired Jester of Gardens is an avid learner and a diligent planner. It stands with one hand clenched in a fist and the other hand holding a globe illustrated with a plethora of butterflies. The first represents support and solidarity, while the globe represents knowledge that may be obtained. Now, this is interesting because I know that the true flame, the true divine feminine, the one that is being blocked out and sabotaged, and that the karmic is so desperate to not have her seen, she is a mother, and she is a mother figure, and the karmic has actually tried to take on that persona, and just like in a very false and arrogant way say, I am the one that's called to mother the earth. I'm the head monarch, and this is actually the head monarch, and she's got her little balls, and that's like basically like Eve energy, or Sarai, that married Abraham and became Sarah and was the mother of nations type figure. She's got 2 different shoes on. That's kind of interesting. So she can wear 2 different shoes. She can wear 2 different roles. Because of what she's been through and endured and seen, she's able to stand up and lead with a lot of knowledge and experience, and out of a place of compassion. And you see the Judgment in the reverse. What she's been through is actually going to be used greatly. A lot of people that are, say, politicians, they haven't actually like been through hard times so much. Oh no, my book's falling apart. They haven't been through the hard times. I think it's kind of like, sometimes they're like addictions counselors that haven't been through it, and I feel like the ones that actually have, they've lived through it themselves, or like grew up in that. I feel like they are, and they've overcome it. They seem to tend to make better like addiction counselors, because they're coming from a place of really being able to help somebody identifying with where they've been. That's actually a moth. It looks like a monarch, but it's moth. So the jester can be seen as being already comfortable and familiar with his feminine lunar side, yet is still eager to augment and balance this through increased awareness and insight into the masculine solar realm. So it's kind of interesting. I feel like that is sort of confirms what I was just saying in different words. Divinatory meanings are: integrity is to be valued, knowledge is to be gained, a practical approach, prosperity, act on opportunities presented. And that is the actual like main, my other book lens falling apart. That is the main goal of the divine feminine, and she's wise and she's older, but she sees a lot of the opportunities that have been deprived of her, and she sees what went wrong and what got in the way, and how she can change things and fix things so that others can achieve their highest purposes and goals. And that is the mission, the main mission of the divine counterparts. It's always to create a better tomorrow for the next generations, and take what's gone so wrong, so terribly wrong, and put things in place to fix the situation. And so this Judgment in the reverse, you know what is interesting? There's like two different archon, maybe not. They're just worded differently. Opening the cages of the spirit, the golden egg of thought hatches towards its transformation. And with it being in the reverse, I feel like basically the divine feminine was kind of kept in a cage, was kept, and this partially is by the Hierophant energy, but she was kept from obtaining and being that which she was like truly supposed to be. There she is, small and kind of like looking forward, but there's this like, I don't know, big statue, big thing in the way, big headless, faceless monster. Oh, she can't see who her attackers and her sabotagers are. She knows they're there. She knows the experiences that she's had, but she doesn't know exactly who's been behind getting in the way and who's been behind the sabotage. But then we've got the Hierophant here in the Klimt, which is... Okay, so the divine feminine isn't necessarily traditional. She's a pioneer, and she is, and I wish I could think of the word right now. I can't think of the exact word that I'm trying to come up with, but she does things in non-traditional ways. And it's just the constraints of tradition in some ways have kept her from acting out in her own strength and her own love in her own highest way, because people have tried to like mold her into something else. She's not of this earth, she's otherworldly, and she operates out of a whole different new set of operation and out of a whole different intent of love. So she doesn't necessarily fit into the role and the actual like usual structure of society and the 9 to 5 thing. That stifles her and keeps her from developing her highest purpose. And that is basically a big part of where Divine Masculine does come in to support her and allow her to just be who she is, to be love. And so this Hierophant upright, modesty, moral severity, and religiousness also, I feel like definitely, some religious people have kind of gotten in the way, have gotten in the way of the connection, have gotten in the way of this Jester of Gardens turning into the Queen of Winds, have gotten in the way of a lot of things. And they've done it out of what they want to pretend like is a good intent or what they thought was a good intent. But it's caused the Divine Feminine to be stifled and to not achieve all that she was meant to achieve. They haven't been able to just let her be. They want to control her. They want to harness her energy. They want to harness her beauty. They want to like interpret it into what they feel is right and the best. They want to use it for themselves and their own material, earthly, shallow type gain. She sees from a whole higher and a whole more elevated it sounded awful the way that came out. She sees from an elevated perspective. She sees the end. She's intuitive. She's a prophetess. She sees actually the end of things and why it's so important for her to be able to fulfill her purpose and to be seen and known for what she truly is. And this Hierophant is so like into like holding on to the way things are, the way things are, and they're unable and unwilling to like let go of the power and control to let Divine Feminine fly and have her wings and be. And so she's kind of like been trapped and under observation a little bit. But with this Judgment in the reverse also, that's the thing that sets her apart as well, is that she is just, and even those that have betrayed her greatly, she doesn't want any harm. She doesn't want to see them be punished. She operates out of a place of complete mercy, and she even prays for that, for those that have kind of gotten in the way, that she just prays that they would like actually see what they've done, and to actually, she begs and pleads for them to actually support her and to stop the madness and to stop the lies. And so anyways, in the end of this reading, she becomes the Queen of Winds. She becomes the Queen of Swords. The Page of Pentacles is actually the Queen of Swords. And I feel like that is the purpose for her financial elevation, for her getting back what was stolen from her, is to be able to communicate and have a platform to be able to share with the next generations and those she cares about, her children, just like all over the world, just birthing the next generations. She's able to like use finances and career, her placement in a way to just communicate what she speaks the truth. She says what needs to be said. She's able to stand up and be like, no, wait a second, this isn't working. And this is why. And the reason that I know this is because of all I've had to live through, because I've had to survive, because I've had to fight hard just to survive. So she's a real warrior woman. She's basically like a Joan of Arc type. She is a woman that goes down his. She's like a Queen Elizabeth. She's a woman that goes down in history. She's the Nine of Pentacles, with the Three of Cups. She's like the celebration of things changing for the better. And she speaks about that in advance. She speaks in advance about what needs to happen, what needs to change, what will change. And she's celebrated for it. That hasn't been what's gone down, but that's what is going to happen. That is what's going to take place. And she's able to speak about what true prosperity really is. And true prosperity is a place where nobody has any lack, where everybody gets their opportunities, where everybody gets to shine. And her prosperity isn't just money in the bank. Her prosperity is being able to share with others how they can make something out of nothing as well. That's her mission, is to be able to like communicate that and provide avenues for everyone to be able to be prosperous. Not like this whole matrix thing is being broken down, and it's not for like somebody to own everything and to own everyone and to have all the power and control, but a community-based life. A community-based life where everybody gets a fair and equal chance. I'm just going to go ahead and read Queen of Air, Queen of Winds, Queen of Swords, following her completion of the major arcana, Nino immediately turned her attention to the court cards. The members of the suit of winds were the first she undertook. With her hand raised, the Queen of Winds faces her king in a direct and even confrontational pose. Ooh, I like that. You can see how her hands are forward. Okay, and this is what Divine Masculine knows that he needs. And she's been telling him for a while. She's even got reddish hair. It's auburn hair, so it's like reddish brown. So I feel like it's possibly like a natural thing and a DNA thing. But she's able to look at her Divine Masculine and say, wait, whoa, what a minute. Like, I mean this in all love, but I feel like you're making a mistake here. I feel like you need to slow down. I feel like you need to look at things from this perspective. I feel like you need to think about things in this way. And being that and coming from the place of, of judgment in the reverse, she's actually able to sharpen his iron. They sharpen each other's iron. And that's why she is the ideal helpmate and right-hand woman for him, is because she's able to, in the right attitude and with the right emotion and sense of things, have him look at things in a different way and be that support and be that mirror and support him out of authenticity and honesty. Her upright posture and clear, honest expression are indicative, oh my goodness, indicative of her confident and forthright manner. Her upright posture and clear, honest expression are indicative. Why can I not say that? An indication of her confident and forthright manner. So she leads in honesty. She leads in authenticity. People celebrate that with the Three of Cups there. People celebrate that with her. And that's why it's seen that she is a true leader. An intelligent, highly perceptive woman who may provide inspiration or new ideas. So she is an original. She has the original ideas. She often gets followed or copied, or as I would say to people that were like, started out doing the same style of jewelry, I would say, you were one of the first ones to be inspired by my look and, by my method of making jewelry. But she's set apart because she is different, and she's the first one to have certain ideas and do things. And what's about to change with the Nine of Pentacles and with the ability for her to shine, not being blocked and not being sabotaged anymore, is that she is going to be celebrated and recognized for her achievements. And nobody else is going to be able to take them because they've tried to do that. People have come in there and tried to take her ideas, steal them, and pretend like they were her own. But what's going to happen is when she is supported, when she reaches this Nine of Pentacles status, meaning that I feel like when the Emperor and Empress come together, they are the Ten of Pentacles together. They're the 10 of everything, 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups together. But on her own, she still stands out on her own as a Nine of Pentacles. She's an individual. She's an original. And if she didn't have the Emperor and she didn't have her Divine Masculine, she's still able to take care of herself on her own. She's not codependent. She's very independent. And so let's read the wording of the Three of Cups in the Surrealist Tarot booklets. It's the joy of living, cheerful folly, visionary frenzy. Dada is spontaneity that dispels the shadows of the heart. Oh, that's so beautiful. She shines light on his shadows, and it's a good thing. She does it out of complete love, respect, admiration, and understanding for him. That's why they're perfect for each other. It's really cool artwork, isn't it? It's very sort of like dystopian, apocalyptic. Look, it's like computer circuits and shit. Hi, buddy. Yeah. Not in here. Did you go watch a movie?
Yeah.
Was it fun?
Yeah, that's fun.
It was fun?
Yeah.
Cool. I love you.
I like you.
I have, at 3 o'clock, I'm meeting with our baker so she can help me fill out the form for the health department, because there were a bunch of questions we didn't know how to answer.
Oh, okay. I've got to stop this and continue it again. So, thanks for watching.